Now it's time for a stroll across Leon Bibb's My Ohio. So have you ever wondered where you came from?
Well, not you specifically, but where your parents and grandparents came from and how they lived. Our Leon Bibb looks at tracing ancestral roots, all new at 5 today.
Well, those of us who are into genealogy, family history, and ancestry try to look into the past as far back as we can. You know, there are kinfolk back there. A good place to begin is with the U.S. Census, as you shall see.
A place where the past is celebrated, polished like new. At the Western Reserve Historical Society, we see how today's automobile technology grew from that of decades past. These vintage cars set the table for today's cars. There is a link, just as there is one in people. All of us are on a family bloodline tied in with the past, parents, grandparents, and beyond. In the Cleveland History Center of the Historical Society, inquisitive people sift through records, searching for family. Count me among them.
Yeah, those are all my aunts and uncles. Yeah. And grandfather, he was Lee Bibb.
Research Library Supervisor Ann Sindelar follows twists and turns of the passageways to the past. Trips often begin with the U.S. Census, which every 10 years counts all of us. Each census stays private for 72 years, so the most recent census we can see is from 1940.
And this is just one snapshot, and we can continue looking backward in the census. This is 1930. We can look at 1920 and keep going backward.
Using censuses of 1940, 30, and earlier, I study my family. Your family is here too, somewhere. Often the names and places we welcome.
It shows us how our families participated in history and maybe impacted history and how history impacted our family.
Many materials help us trace our families. Scribblings of census questionnaires take us to when family members answered, who lives here and what are their ages? More information can come from city directories listing street addresses telling who lived there. Of course, old family photographs in our own keepings can add focus to generations back. Through my family albums, I time travel to my ancestors, pictures of how they lived. Through an old census, I am also led to an empty house on the Cleveland Southeast Side.
The 1940 census takes me to this house on Cleveland's East 86th Street. When my father came to Cleveland from Alabama in 1940, he moved in right here with his aunt and uncle. They helped him get a start on life here in Cleveland. So this house is in my ancestral bloodline.
At the Cleveland History Center of the Western Reserve Historical Society, people of the present mine for their relatives of the past. For descendants of black slaves in this country, for whom sometimes records are sparse, there are still roots to find their names.
Because I really want to go back into slavery at times, but so far I've only been able to go back into the 1940s, and I think I'm going to have to ask Ann for some help because I really would love to learn more about where did I come from.
Graying pictures of my family members stare back at me. The photographs prompt me to search for more information on how life was 1, 2, 3, and more generations ago. The pictures talk to me in that they nudge me to search for stories behind them.
You'll start to maybe look at old historic photographs and start to realize, oh my gosh, those are people that I didn't even know about before.
Old family photographs may lead you to new adventures following the bloodline. Blend them with the now digitized, handwritten listings of family members of census takers. At the Cleveland History Center of the Western Reserve Historical Society, the search can go deeper for handprints and footpaths of the kinfolk. This is Leon Bibb suggesting the trail you take may lead to old places where family members' lives were lived long, long ago.
Add the information you get from your photographs of your family members and you get a better picture on your own. You can go to 1940census.archives.gov for the U.S. Census. The people at the Cleveland History Center of the Western Reserve Historical Society in University Circle can help you personally. After all, it's all in the family. I'm Leon Bibb.